Ladies and gentlemen, my friends, what if I told you that the moment just before you close your eyes at night is the most powerful moment of your entire day, that the universe listens to you most intently when the noise of the world begins to fade, when you are half awake and half asleep, standing on the threshold of the invisible. Tonight I will show you how to ask the universe before sleep so that you may receive anything you desire, and I urge you stay with me till the end, because what I am about to reveal is not mere theory, it is the very law by which destinies are shaped. Wealth is built, love is drawn, and healing takes place. The mind before sleep is the gateway between the conscious and the subconscious. At no other time in your day are you standing at such a powerful threshold. When you rise in the morning, the conscious mind takes charge, planning, analyzing, worrying, directing your actions according to logic and past experiences. But as the day ends and you lie down in stillness, something extraordinary begins to happen. The conscious mind loosens its grip, its walls soften, and in that sacred moment before sleep, the subconscious, silent, obedient, and infinitely creative, stands open, ready to receive whatever you impress upon it. This is not a mere idea, it is the law of life. Think of your conscious mind as the sower, and your subconscious as the fertile soil. During the waking hours, you scatter seeds through thoughts, feelings, and imaginations. Yet it is at night, as you enter that borderland between wakefulness and sleep, that the soil is most receptive. The seed you drop in that instant does not get lost in the noise of logic, doubt, or fear. Instead, it sinks deep into the subconscious, where it begins to germinate and eventually take form in your external world. That is why so many people unknowingly plant weeds of fear and worry each night by replaying their failures, their arguments, or their unmet desires before bed. They drift to sleep rehearsing lack, and so they awaken to a world that mirrors lack. But you are given a choice. You can use this golden doorway to shape your future deliberately. When you understand that the images and feelings you carry into sleep are not fleeting fantasies but blueprints, you begin to treat this nightly moment with reverence. Just as an architect carefully draws the plan before the builder lays a single brick, you must design with your imagination the life you wish to experience. And the best time to design it is in the moments before you fall asleep. Why is this state so potent? Because in those final minutes of consciousness, your mind is no longer preoccupied with the distractions of the day. It is no longer resisting with questions like, how will this happen? Or when will this come? The door to the subconscious swings open, and whatever you impress upon it enters without hindrance. It is as if you are whispering directly to the universe, and the universe responds by arranging circumstances, people, and events to match what you have planted. Each night you stand at the doorway of creation. You can carry into sleep the burden of the day, or you can enter with the vision of your fulfilled desire. Whatever you choose becomes the command to the subconscious, and in time it will echo back into your waking life as reality. To know this truth is to hold in your hands the very key to transforming your world. The final thoughts and feelings you carry into sleep shape your reality. Every night as you drift from the waking state into slumber, you are not simply resting the body, you are impressing the mind with instructions. These instructions do not come through the words you speak, but through the emotions you feel and the images you hold. The last thing you dwell upon before sleep enters into the deep subconscious, where it is accepted as true and begins to mold the circumstances of your life. That is why it is said that sleep is a rehearsal for life itself, for the world you meet tomorrow is a reflection of the inner movie you played tonight. Consider how most people end their days. They replay arguments, dwell on disappointments, worry about tomorrow's bills, or lament what they lack. They carry these vibrations into sleep, and without realizing it, they instruct the subconscious to continue producing more of the same. The subconscious does not argue, does not reason, does not reject. It simply accepts the feeling and expresses it outwardly. So when a man falls asleep in fear, he awakens to a world that confirms his fear. When a woman drifts into slumber with a sense of loneliness, she awakens to a day that reflects that same emptiness. The subconscious is impartial. It creates what it is impressed with, whether it be joy or despair. Yet here lies the secret. You can choose the last thought, the final feeling, the closing picture before sleep. You are the master of this inner theater. If you deliberately construct a scene in imagination that implies the fulfillment of your desire and allow yourself to feel the joy of its reality, you are sending a command to the subconscious that cannot be denied. Enter sleep with the feeling of love, and life will answer with love. Fall asleep in gratitude, and circumstances will conspire to give you more to be grateful for. Drift away with the sense of abundance, and you will awaken to opportunities that mirror wealth. This is why the moment before sleep is sacred. It is not idle time, but creative time. The conscious mind is the guardian at the gate, but as you grow drowsy, that guardian steps aside, and the subconscious receives without question whatever you impress upon it. The last 5 minutes of your day are more powerful than the rest of the hours combined. What you allow yourself to feel in that twilight state becomes the seed that tomorrow will reveal. So make it your practice to choose wisely. Replace worry with assurance, doubt with confidence, fear with faith. Paint the scene of your wish fulfilled, and let your heart dwell in its sweetness. The universe will not fail to reflect it back to you, for the reality you meet is nothing more than the echo of the thoughts and feelings you carried into the silence of sleep. Imagination is the tool through which you communicate with the universe. It is not a child's plaything, nor is it a fleeting fantasy without consequence. Imagination is the creative faculty of your being, the invisible bridge between your inner world and the outer reality you experience. Every structure ever built, every invention ever born, every movement that has shifted the course of history began first as an image in someone's mind. What the world calls real once existed only in imagination. To disregard imagination as make-believe is to misunderstand the very power that shapes your destiny. When you close your eyes and picture yourself already living the life you desire, you are not indulging in idle daydreaming. You are planting a seed in the fertile soil of the subconscious, and the subconscious, being unlimited in resources, sets into motion the forces of creation to bring that vision into manifestation. Imagination is the language the universe understands. Words may fall short, prayers may become repetitive, but the vivid image coupled with genuine feeling is never ignored. Think of a sculptor standing before a block of marble. He sees with his inner eye what the marble could become long before his hands ever touch the chisel. The imagination holds the finished form, and step by step reality is shaped to mirror it. So it is with your life. What you see inwardly with conviction will eventually take shape outwardly, whether it is success, love, health, or abundance. The outer world is nothing more than the shadow cast by the inner world of imagination. Most people allow their imagination to run wild with fear and worry. They imagine disaster, rejection, or failure, and because imagination is always creative, they unknowingly call these experiences into their reality. But when you learn to harness imagination deliberately, it becomes the mightiest instrument in your hands. You begin to communicate with the universe not by pleading, not by hoping, but by seeing and feeling your desire as though it were already yours. The moment before sleep is especially powerful for this practice. As your body relaxes and the conscious mind grows quiet, your imagination becomes vivid, alive, and unhindered. In this drowsy state, you can construct a scene that implies your wish fulfilled, and live in it as if it were happening now. This is the true act of asking, for the universe responds not to words but to images saturated with emotion. Imagination is the key that unlocks every door. It allows you to bypass the limitations of logic and circumstance, to step beyond what seems possible, and to align yourself with what is truly possible. When you understand this, you no longer dismiss imagination as fantasy. You honor it as the sacred dialogue between yourself and the infinite, the very tool by which dreams become reality. Feeling the wish fulfilled before drifting into sleep is the secret key to manifestation. Desire alone does not move the universe. It is the assumption that the desire is already realized that impresses itself upon the subconscious. The world does not give you what you beg for. It gives you what you embody. And the most potent moment to embody your fulfilled desire is in that quiet space between wakefulness and sleep, when the conscious mind grows still and the subconscious lies open, ready to receive. To feel the wish fulfilled is more than simply imagining a scene. It is stepping into it so completely that every fiber of your being vibrates with the sense that it is already yours. If you long for success, it is not enough to wish for it vaguely. You must enter into the mood of success itself. You must feel the pride of achievement, the confidence of recognition, the relief of accomplishment. If love is your desire, you do not merely hope for companionship. You must fall asleep in the warmth of it, as though your beloved were already beside you. The feeling is the secret. Without it, imagination remains barren.
Many people fail because they imagine one thing but feel another. They may picture wealth, but they feel lack. They may see health, but they feel fear. The subconscious does not respond to the image alone. It responds to the emotional vibration attached to the image. When you align the picture with the feeling, you create a magnetic impression so strong that the universe has no choice but to mirror it back to you. Before sleep, let your imagination create the scene, but let your heart supply the feeling. See yourself in the life you desire, and then breathe into it, until it feels natural, until it feels inevitable. If at first it seems unreal, persist gently. Night after night, as you sink into sleep, carrying the mood of fulfillment, you will discover that the feeling begins to take root, and soon, it will no longer feel like an invention. It will feel like truth.
In that moment, the subconscious accepts it as fact, and once it is accepted, it must be expressed. The outer world is compelled to rearrange itself to reflect the inner conviction. Circumstances shift, doors open, people appear, opportunities align, all in response to the state you embodied before sleep. So the invitation is simple. Do not retire into the night with worry, fear, or longing. Lay your head upon the pillow as though your prayer were already answered, as though your dream were already real. Feel it with gratitude, with joy, with certainty. For when you fall asleep in the state of the wish fulfilled, you hand over the blueprint to the subconscious, and it will faithfully build it into the fabric of your life. The universe responds not to words, but to the state of consciousness you embody. It is not the long prayers, the repeated affirmations, or the desperate pleas that move the unseen forces into action. What shapes reality is the vibration of your inner being, the mood you live in, the attitude you carry, the conviction you hold as truth. Words without feeling are like seeds scattered on stone. They do not take root. But when your consciousness assumes a state, when you inwardly live as though your desire were already fulfilled, the universe cannot help but mirror it back to you. Think for a moment of how people move through their days. Some speak of wealth, while carrying within themselves the feeling of poverty. Some declare love with their lips while dwelling inwardly in loneliness. Others talk about faith, while secretly embodying fear. Their words and their inner state do not match, and so the world responds not to what they say, but to what they are. Consciousness is the cause, and life is the effect. This is why it is said that you cannot mock the law. The universe is impartial. It reflects the state you occupy, not the mask you wear. If you live in a state of lack, opportunities will slip away, not because they do not exist, but because you are blind to them. If you live in a state of fulfillment, doors will open where there seem to be none, for your consciousness has already declared them open. Life bends to the posture of your inner being. Before sleep, this truth becomes especially powerful. The conscious mind grows quiet, and the subconscious receives its instruction not from your words, but from the atmosphere of feeling you sink into. If you fall asleep rehearsing failure, you embody failure, and the subconscious carries it forward. But if you fall asleep in the quiet assurance that your dream is already real, you embody fulfillment, and the subconscious builds the bridge of events to make it so. The universe is not listening to the sound of your voice. It is reading the tone of your soul. So the question is not what should I say, but rather what state am I embodying? If you want love, you must embody the state of being loved. If you want success, you must embody the state of being successful. If you want healing, you must embody the state of wholeness. Words may support you, affirmations may remind you, but it is the feeling, the inner assumption, that speaks directly to the creative power of the universe. Live tonight as though you already are what you long to be. Sleep in that conviction, and you will awaken to a world eager to prove it true. Night after night, you can design your life by directing your inner world before surrendering to sleep. Each evening is not merely the closing of another day. It is an invitation to creation, a sacred moment where you hold the brush and the canvas of tomorrow lies blank before you. The world you will wake to is not random chance. It is the reflection of the state you allowed yourself to carry into the silence of sleep. This is the hidden rhythm of life. What you rehearse inwardly in the night is what you encounter outwardly in the day. Most people end their nights by rehearsing their problems. They think about unpaid bills, strained relationships, or fears about the future. They allow their minds to wander down dark corridors, and then they wonder why their tomorrows look so much like their yesterdays. But you have been given the power to choose differently. You can treat each night as the architect's table, where you design in imagination the experiences you wish to live. Sleep then becomes not an escape, but a workshop where the subconscious mind labors on the blueprint you hand it. How do you design your life in this way? By deliberately constructing a scene that implies your desire has already been fulfilled. Do not picture vague dreams, picture specific outcomes. If you seek abundance, see yourself holding the proof of it, perhaps reading a letter of unexpected income or receiving congratulations for your success. If you seek love, feel the warmth of being cherished. Imagine the sound of a voice speaking to you with tenderness. If health is your goal, imagine yourself strong, vibrant, and free in your body. The scene is yours to choose, but it must be clear enough to stir real emotion. Once chosen, allow yourself to dwell in it as though it were happening now. Do not push or strain, simply relax into the conviction that this is your reality. As you drift closer to sleep, let the feeling become natural, even ordinary, as if it could not be otherwise. The subconscious mind, impressionable and creative, accepts this living picture and begins to organize circumstances to match it. When you practice this nightly, you turn your bed into a temple of transformation. The outer world may take time to rearrange, but the law is certain. Persist in planting the same seed, and the harvest must appear. Each night becomes an opportunity to redirect your destiny, to choose the story you wish to live, rather than be bound by the echoes of yesterday. So let your nights no longer be wasted in idle wandering. Let them be purposeful, deliberate, and sacred. For night after night, as you design your inner world with clarity and faith, the days that follow will rise to meet your vision. The universe cannot resist the one who consistently embodies their fulfilled desire before surrendering to sleep. My friends, we return to the simple yet profound truth. Every night before sleep, you stand at the threshold of creation. The conscious mind grows quiet, the subconscious stands open, and the universe leans in, waiting to receive the impression you choose to give. You are never at the mercy of chance. You are always the author of your experience. If you drift into sleep with fear, worry, or longing, you will awaken to a world that reflects those states. But if you deliberately choose to enter sleep clothed in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you have already sown the seed of tomorrow's harvest. Night after night, scene after scene, feeling after feeling, you design your destiny not through effort or struggle, but through quiet assumption. This is the hidden secret. The universe does not answer words, it answers states of being. And the state you take into the silence of sleep is the state that will be echoed back to you in the form of circumstances, opportunities, and experiences. So I leave you with this invitation. Tonight, when you close your eyes, do not surrender to the past. Do not fall asleep rehearsing problems. Instead, dare to dream deliberately. Dare to feel as though your greatest desire were already true. Rest in that joy, sink into that peace, and allow sleep to carry it deep into the creative womb of the subconscious. For what you assume in the night, you shall meet in the day. The key is in your hands. The question is no longer, can it happen? But rather, will you believe it enough to feel it now? If you will, the universe has no choice but to respond. Sleep then, not as one who wishes, but as one who already possesses, and watch how life bends to the pattern you set within.